Hi, and welcome to today's segment on the Community Coalition Action Theory by Butterfoss and Kegler. The Community Coalition Action Theory, also known as CCAT, helps us understand that coalitions actually develop in different stages and use different stages throughout their evolution so that they can be effective. We know that as they develop in specific stages, they may have to recycle back through some stages because new members are being recruited, new plans are being developed, or new issues or problems are emerging in the community. All of this is heavily influenced by contextual factors of your community. One community does not look like another community, and so it's very important that you understand the local conditions that exist in your community and what political, economic, familiar, and structural factors exist. It's very important as you are beginning to facilitate coalition work that there be a lead agency or a group that convenes stakeholders. This lead agency needs to have the opportunity to lead and be seen as a leader in the community. They also have to build trust to recruit community members that become gatekeepers to the business. As you are building coalition membership, coalitions are formed when people start to recruit a core group of individuals that have like interests and are committed to resolving the same issue. Coalition membership is very vital to have 12 different sectors of the community so that all segments of the community have input and are part of the solution. So how do coalitions operate? Well, first and foremost, we can't be dysfunctional. There are many operational processes and procedures that don't work when you're bringing groups of people together for collaboration. So what we would recommend is that you use open and frequent communication from paid staff to its members to create synergy and allow coalition members to network and discuss items across themselves so that synergy can be formed. You also have to have a balanced level of shared decision making. It can't be one person running the whole show. It has to be engaged members that have the ability to voice their opinion in a safe way that allows decision making to be balanced. We also have to have a process for conflict management. The leadership and staffing are the next piece that are essential for this theory to work. Essentially, strong leadership improves coalition functioning, it creates that synergy by engaging more resources, and it allows us to pool resources that maybe were isolated in the community, such as space, time, money, efforts. We know we can all do more together than we can individually. Next, we have to talk about structures. There needs to be formalized rules, roles, structures, and procedures so that the function of the coalition is collaborative and that it creates synergy as it operates. It is super important that the structures that we have, such as bylaws, such as paid staff and member roles, and our responsibilities for what each person brings to the table are clearly outlined to be effective. When it comes to engaging members, member engagement is critical. People come to the table wanting to give their expertise and their view of the problem, but they also come wanting to learn more about how the problem is affecting other groups. So we need to include them in training, understanding their roles and responsibilities, making them part of a regular communication feedback loop, and having a clear vision, and allowing them to help with recruiting new membership. Everybody has a role on the coalition. We have to think about the pooled resources that can come together, such as organizational skills, experience, time, money, influence, and the ability to connect on broader topics for the good of the community. Organizations are going to bring their own assets. They may bring funding, physical space, office supplies, or their own credibility and legitimacy to the community. those will all become helpful as you move the coalition engagement of the membership forward. We also have to consider assessment and planning. For any coalition to be effective, there has to be an understanding of the needs of the community and a comprehensive assessment that allows you to understand why the problem is happening in your community. That leads to the development of an action plan, and the action plan is specific to a problem. That problem is specific to your community. And if you are specific enough, then you can also evaluate your efforts at the end of the process. So once you get your planning done, everybody's ready to jump, and there's synergy and there's energy. And what we want to do is we want to implement. And so when we start to implement strategies, we have to think about how are we going to change community policies, practices, procedures, environments, and make sure that all of our interventions are directed at multiple levels. Those multiple levels have to be target appropriate. So who is the audience? Who are we trying to reach? What do we want to change? Who are the people that have the power and influence to create those changes? And how do we develop action plans that are timely and effective for our funders so that we can adequately report on our outcomes? And the outcomes, well, that's pretty exciting. So when we get to outcomes, that's the change that we started out that we wish to create. And we have to implement these interventions at multiple levels. And so through policy and media and education and alternative activities and physical design changes, we are able to create a very comprehensive strategic plan that allows us to improve our outcomes. And what we want is we want outcomes that are focused on the community improving our health and social outcomes, such as increasing family communication, reducing substance use, building healthier communities, and building stronger communities. And that's something that everybody can get behind. The last thing we have to consider is our community capacity. For successful coalitions, community members and organizations develop capacity and are building social capital that can be applied to other social problems and other coalitions in your community, and they help institutionalize the process of data-driven collaborative work through local coalitions. This program has been brought to you by all of these beautiful people. We thank you for your attention, and go get the outcomes you want.